I'm sure you've heard the news. Team List Tuesday is back, and if you thought last week was wild, buckle up. Off the Bench is here to help you laugh through the carnage. It's that magical time when half the stars vanish for Origin, injuries turn coaches into mad scientists, and suddenly, your fantasy team is captained by a part-time barista. The Broncos' hope valve is forgiven as they give Cobbo another shot. The Dragons look set to name school kids and pensioners, but will still lose by 50 this week. Meanwhile, the Sea Eagles' Tom Turbo is insanely cheap as they take on a toothless Rabbits. The Storm are at near full fucking strength and will name Super Nuff Kane Bradley on a wing, and the Roosters' Mark Alphabet could be the most traded this week as he looks good for 3 friggin' tries this week. Every team's a lucky dip. So grab your spreadsheets, your sense of humor, and join the Off the Bench crew as we try, emphasis on try, to make sense of NRL TLT Round 17.
Just on 4 o'clock, just after a couple of minutes. TLT has just dropped. I've got no idea what's about to come our way, but hopefully, you might get some good news there. I don't think there's going to be too many shocks for anybody all around. As you could hear from the intro that I put together, we pretty much knew a lot of that stuff, I think, that is about to befall us well before Team List Tuesday. And, of course, joined as usual by Rossco. This is really his show. So, Rossco, how are you today?
Yeah, not too bad. Miserable old day here in Sydney, windy, cold, raining, all of the above. It's just been a horrible day here in Sydney, and the weather's continuing on for the next few days, so we might see some wet weather footy over the weekend. But, yeah, we'll rip in and have a look because sounds like there's going to be a few people making their debut this week with a lot of injuries and players out with suspension and whatnot. So we'll rip into it, Brad?
Yeah, we'll rip into it. It could be a good time for sounds like it could be a good time for a Nuff, of course. There's one famous Nuff that quite a few people have already. So, but we'll get to that team when we get there. There's your first one up there now, Ross.
All right, first game Friday night is the Dogs at home to the Broncos. Blake Wilson and Tuala join the backline. Obviously, Critter and Karaz are out on Origin duty. Harry Hayes and Sam Hughes will start as prop. Max King's out with Origin. Sifa Fafita's out with concussion. Apoe and Kurt Moran are on the bench. Kurt Mann's obviously out with Origin as well. For the Broncos, Cobbo will line up at fullback with Walsh out for Origin. Gene Mariner will start in the centres with Shibasaki in the Maroon side as well. Payne Haas and Carrigan are also out, so Williston and Hope Hetherington are in the starting side. Jaden Hunt and Tyson Smoothie are on the bench. That's the first game.
Yeah, I don't know what the really look.
Yeah.
If you haven't got Preston, Jacob Preston, it could be a good week. He looks about the best second row option of the week, probably. Is expensive.
Yeah, I don't mind Kikau either. They're both at a similar price. Yeah, and if you haven't got Karapani, well, you should have Karapani too. But he's just gone up a bucket load of cash, so you probably missed the boat on him. As you said, Brad, the other day on Sunday Night Pod, I think Ezra Mann's probably a decent option for those looking to replace Luke Metcalf in the 5/8 position. Other than that, there's not really much else there that I think. Some of those benches are pretty average for the Broncos in particular. Walters, Hunt, Smoothie, and the jet ski. So I don't know how this game's going to go. They're both sides obviously missing a stack of players. Probably lean towards the Dogs just, but obviously, yeah, it's interesting that that we don't have Karaz, who's been named as 18th man, and we also don't have Reece Walsh, who's also named as 18th man. So sucks for those who've got both, but them's the breaks.
Yeah, that is. Now, the reason I mentioned Jacob Preston, he will be running straight at Ezra Mann, and Ezra Mann can be a speed bump in defence. So that's if it was Kikau running at his side, I would have gone high Kikau. yeah, jump all over Kikau. But Kikau will be running the other way around. So yeah, with Jacob Preston running at him.
And he'd be running up Piakura too, won't he? Right, and he's not the best defender in the world either, I don't think.
No,
so Yeah, I definitely agree on Preston on that one. I'm very happy I picked him up last week. So, yeah.
Nah, good week, good week. Now, this is going to be a cricket score, I reckon. Wow, this next game, the Raiders versus the Dragons. What's happening?
Yeah, so Josh Papali's in the Origin side. Horse will move from lock to prop, which means Smithies will start at lock. Trey Mooney's been added to the bench for the Dragons. Well, Val Holmes out on Origin duty. They've got a stack of injuries. Hamish Stewart concussion. Leilu was out with a quad injury. Nathan Lawson shoulder injury. Toby Couchman's also out with a shoulder injury. So you've got Sione Fainu, Jewel Sloan. RFM will start on an edge. Ponga onto the bench, as will Sele and Michael Molo. Yeah, as you said, Brad, I don't see anything else but that. The Dragons are very under strength. I really like the matchup for Jed Stewart in this one. He'll be up against Tyrrell Sloan, who we already know is a terrible defender. And this could be very, very nasty, this game.
Yeah, actually, I'm quite impressed just having, because I said this is my first look at all of this. I'm actually reasonably impressed with that forward pack of the Dragons. That's certainly not the worst, and even they've even got a few bodies there coming off the bench that could quite well be doing okay for you. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be going Raymond Fatal Mariner if. Maybe worthwhile if you if you really need a waiver wire and draft. He actually scores very nicely at Supercoach. If you go back through his history, he's got some huge scores before. So he could be one maybe to consider if you're desperate. Yeah, no, it's not the worst, but yeah, I still say Raiders at home should easily account for that side.
Yeah. Sasagi's another one there too that might be worth looking at for draft. Maybe even Morgan Smithy starting at lock 2 possibly as well. So, yeah. But other than that, I don't think there's really too much to talk about with this game. Those who have Horsey should be playing him anyway. I mean, starting in prop, probably you probably score even better there with a lot more stats, with hit-ups and stuff like that. A lot more work for him in the middle, I think.
Just interestingly, have you got Supercoach open in front of you? What's Horse's price? I think he's bottomed out. So if you do want to buy him, this is the week to buy him. If you're desperate for a S2RF, actually, I did say Preston, Jacob Preston was the best, but at his value, I think you'll find that his BE is probably around 40 or something. He's bottomed out in his price and he's about to start making cash again. Now, yes, we all jumped off when he was over 600K. But then he's dropped right back down, and now
he's 514K with a break even of 45.
There you
go. There is quite a few. There is quite a few. Well, he's 1.1% traded in this week too. So, he's averaging a tick under 61, which you'd take any day of the week. I think handy because he's got the dual position, like you said, Brad. It could be nearly a straight swap for Couchman to Horse for me, but I don't know, Brad. It is still a bit of a concerning about the Russian roulette with Ricky with the minutes between the forwards. So that's the only thing that concerns me. But I think this week with, with Papali out, maybe he does get some extra minutes. I don't know. I'm not sure what Ricky's going to do.
Looking at that bench, I reckon he's in for not too bad a minutes, particularly with Papali out. And I think almost definitely either Papali gets rested next week or Hudson Young will get rested. Depending upon their workload in Origin. So I still think he's about, based upon an over 60 average, he's around about 100K.
You lost your volume. Can't hear you.
How am I going there now? Well, I can hear me. But is it you that's lost?
There you go. Got you. No, got you now. Yeah. You were talking and I couldn't hear you.
All right. Yeah, I was just saying that Corey Horse was around about 100 odd K, if not a little bit more, underpriced at that value. He should, he should come into people's calculations. Particularly at that price. Yeah, you got to make money. You'll be able to make some good sells there. Even Couchman, I think you're going to make a little bit of money. So a good one. Cowboys and Storm. What's happening?
Well, here we go. Cowboys, Tom Duffy takes over at halfback from Tom Dearden, who's away for Origin. Cotto, Nanai, and Reece Robson are all out with Origin duty. John Bateman returns from his injury. Harrison Edwards takes over at hooker. Kai O'Donnell starting the back row with a couple of guys on the bench to make their debut. Mackay Cutters and Temple Kalepo for the Cowboys. And then for the Storm, with Coates out for Origin and Faye Logo hamstring injury, Anderson goes onto the wing with our dual Nuff, who's been sitting there. We just prayed and hoped maybe he might finally get a game. Kane Bradley comes into the team. Joe Chan, another name that hasn't been around for a while, named at centre. Tyron Wishart will start in the halves with Munster at Origin. Bronson Garlick starts at hooker. Jonah Pezzett joins the bench with another one we haven't seen for a while. Kamakamika starts at prop. Nas goes to lock with Leo out for Origin. Valepu and Lestati are on the bench for this one. Well, Brad, those people, I don't have him, but those people who've got Kane Bradley, who was just sitting there as a dual Nuff, looks like he's going to finally do something.
Yeah, no, well done if you've had him. I tell you what, having a quick look at that, Joe Chan at centre, he'd have to be the slowest centre ever. Like I think Zach Laybutt could have a field day up against him. He might. Wow, I wouldn't mind betting that'll change. I'm not convinced on that one. Look, I like Joe Chan as a second rower, and he's been a second rower of a big watch for a few years now. Waiting, he's a son of Alex Chan, for those that don't know. Alex Chan was the Broncos of years gone by, very successful. I think he also played State of Origin. I
think the problem is, Brad, is that they've got no one. This is the problem. Like, you've got Faye Logo out, Warbrick's still out with his concussion. House out with his issues that he's got with can't remember what he had, appendix or whatever it might have been. Like, they're really strapped on. Geez, I mean, have a look through your waiver wires on your drafts if you're playing. See if Zach Laybutt's around. I think he could be in for a big one here, as could be Murray Talangi as well. Wow.
It's a funny side, that one. Alec McDonald come into the centre. You reckon there could be a late change there? Because Alec McDonald's played centre.
Maybe. I really don't know. I don't know.
It's a bit funny, that one. Now, talk
about... Not sure cricket. On that one.
Yep.
Yes. Go on.
I was going to say, talk about cricket scores. What have we got happening here?
Well, it could be a swimming pool at Allianz at the moment. I mean, we know it doesn't drain very well, so we'll see what happens with this one. But, I'm not expecting an SL spot. Tom Rodwell will make his debut on the wing with the Alphabet Man moving into the centres with Toya out for Origin. They're also missing Angus Crichton, Connor Watson, Lindsay Collins and Spencer Lenu. Makatoa, Iolu and Steep come into the starting side. Egan the Butcher returns from concussion to replace Sil Wong. Max McCarthy is debuting off the bench alongside Zach Docker-Clay, Leasu De Salveala. For the Tigers, Heath Mason's out suspended. Senator Trevu will move to fullback. Charlie Staines comes on the wing. Dewey moves to 5'8", obviously with Luai out for Origin. Api Coruscant's out with concussion. Talon De Silva gone. Tristan Hope will start at hooker. Luke Lalali will start in the centres. And Charlie Murray is the new name on the bench. It's a very depleted Tiger side, like I said, with all those players out. No Dream Buller either, who's out with a hamstring injury. It should be a bloodbath. It really should, but I'm really concerned about what the conditions are going to be like at the ground come Saturday, Brad, or Sunday, I should say, because there's a lot of rain around in Sydney for the next few days. But I guess the one we should speak about is Marky Mark, Brad. He's highly traded in this week, as he should be, but is he a buy as much in the centres as what he would be if he was playing on the wing, or you don't think it matters considering he's up against a bloke who's only probably played a handful of games in first grade?
up against Luke. Oh, he's a lunatic, that Luke Lalui. It is crazy. Every time I've seen him play, it's rocks or diamonds. He does some crazy stuff out there. Yeah, that could be. I'm really uncertain. Look, Rodwell outside of Alphabet might go okay. Alphabet, you think they'd be aiming a lot of kicks in his directions. You reckon Hugo seems to be very good at that. Some pinpoint kicks will be going over that way towards Alphabet. Certainly, I don't like it as much as I did on the wing. I thought on the wing he'd be an absolute shoe-in, but Do you know much about Tristan Hope from the Tigers?
No, he hasn't played a lot of first grade. Obviously, we are very well we're in our third string hooker at the moment. Obviously, now with Talon De Silva gone and Appy out with concussion. I think he's the one that they're alluding as the one who's going to replace Appy eventually, hence why they let De Silva go. Couple of ones just quickly to look at for your waiver wise for draft. Blake Steep at lock. I really like him there. Egan Butcher again as well. Could be another one starting on an edge there too, and maybe for Keddy even too. I mean, there's some options there. I've seen Billy Smith floating around in some drafts. I don't mind him either. But then you look at the forward packs. I mean, even with a second string forward pack, their pack's way better than ours. I mean, Jack Bird starting on an edge, that's just absolutely disgusting. It's so bad. Like, yeah. No, Mick, we're not getting the spoon. Titans have got that wrapped up this year. Sorry. Yeah, we might go close.
Mick Willis, I can see there's actually quite a few out there have joined us. Feel free to drop us a comment. There is a few watching on YouTube as well. Mick Willis has said Tigers for the spoon. Yeah, I think the Titans might have that wrapped up, but there's still about 2 rounds to go, so you never know what might happen. Never know there, Mick.
So obviously Teddy should be. If you don't have Teddy, you need to get Teddy. It's just plain and simple for this game in particular. I think he's going to probably be the most captained, obviously, as well. He will be my captain this week, as will probably everyone's captain if you've got him in your team. There's not much else to say other than that, to be honest with you. So,
100%. All right. The Sea Eagles game versus the Rabbitohs. Just running my eye over now. Lehigh Opawati still back at fullback. Tommy still into the centres. So Manly looks a mostly unchanged team there.
Yeah, only one change with Tommy Tilliau on the bench. Nathan Brown out with a bicep injury. There was mail around today that he may not play again this season. If he does, it'll probably be towards the finals end. Interesting that AJ's named at fullback, but they have no choice because Jai Gray's injured. They were looking at putting Jaden Sullivan at fullback this week, but unfortunately the poor bugger on the weekend broke his leg playing New South Wales Cup. So he's going to be out for quite some time. So obviously Ewan Aiken moves into the centres with Whiten going into the halves with Cody Walker out again injured. And then LeBlanc and Lewis Dodd come onto the bench. So it's probably a very weak bench, that one for South, to be honest with you, Brad, I think. I don't know, what's your thoughts on the bench?
It's not the strongest bench, but they do have they've got a hooker and they've done they've only bench. Yeah.
There's talk that Cheese will make his debut, so I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in on the bench for Lewis Dodd, I reckon. I'd say most likely.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that would be expected if he was and he is in the extended bench there. We can see him. Some of those names, don't forget, people are just listed in the extended bench because South Sydney have nobody else to name. Okay, they've got to name 22 players. And so Cody Walker is no chance of playing. His name might be there, but don't think that all means that he might come in. He will not come in. It's just that they have nobody else to name. So they got. Well,
it shouldn't matter because it shouldn't matter anyway because no one should own him. Really, let's be honest.
Okay.
he's far from a buy, no matter what price he is.
Dad's Army. Mick says he's just geeing you up about the just geeing you up about
That's
the old.
okay. I'm used to it, mate. We've got 3 in a row. I'm just yeah. There's not, there's not much more else to say. Yep.
Ruben Garrick does have a very good base and give it the goal kicking as well. And there should be a few points in this if it's a half dry track.
Yep. Well, who's he up against? So he's up against Isaiah Tass.
Yeah.
Mm.
Isaiah Tass and the Aiken side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Tommy's up against Campbell Graham. That should be interesting because Campbell's not a bad defender as a centre. So, yeah. I don't necessarily. I think Tommy's up against Campbell Graham. I could have that wrong. And that looks like it. That's our last games. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the games. What's your thoughts, Brad, on any trades this week? You holding fire, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I am holding fire. Not surprising. Yeah, look, I'll tell you honest truth, there's not much I like there worth trading. Horse, I think, is worth a trade if you've got a issue there. Certainly, if you've got Couchman, I think Horse or Preston are the two standouts. Yeah, I like Horse at that price. I tell you, I know, as I said, most people would have already sold him when he was like about 650 or so when he peaked. But you've banked that 150, 200K. Why not go again? Yeah. Why not? You know, you've made.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at the top 10 traded in for this week. A lot of it pretty well sort of makes sense. You got, Nitawaze at number 1, Hughes at number 2, Preston number 3, Jed Stewart number 4. With question mark on him. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't hate it with a BE of -22. And then you got Teddy at 5, Drinky at 6, KO Weeks at 7 might be one that's a bit questionable. Then we go to Katoa. We've still got people trading in Karapani despite the fact that he went up 130K last week. And number 10 is Ezra Mam. I mean, Karapani is still a decent buy, Brad. He's still got a negative break even, -28. So, if he tons up, he's going to go up another 100K, which will put him at about 16K. So I think KO Weeks is probably the only one there, right, Brad, that we can probably just sit here and go, we're not sure about.
The one that I'm really, I understand people's hesitation, but particularly if you're in a bit of a bind, I don't understand why Turbo's not on that list.
Yeah.
In the mid 400s, he'd made 77 points last week and did nothing. Like he literally took the ball and just, but in doing so, he managed about 8 tackle busts. Right, which we know Supercoach love. He really didn't have to do much. He just took the field and So
Scotty Drinkwater. Yeah, I don't know, Brad. Scott Drinkwater at number 5 is an interesting one too because they're playing Melbourne this week as well. Like, I don't know how much if I love that or not. I mean, I know that they're missing. They are missing some players, but far out. I don't know about that. So
I just think it's people reading too much into Big E's or something. He's way too expensive Melbourne for me to. As I said, if you want that, I reckon that there might only be 20 points between Scott Drinkwater and Turbo. And if Manly do start getting a run against that understrength South Sydney team, then Turbo's going to be a piece of that action. And he will be.
Like you said. Yeah, like you said, he didn't do much and got 77 points. So God helps if he starts to get some decent attacking stats in him. So, but that's it, Brad, for this week. I said short and sweet with only 5 games. So,
and Turbo's not a Casey McLean. Turbo actually passes the ball, which means Turbo gets the all-important try assist.
Yeah.
So all he has to do is take about 3 steps, pass the ball, bang, try assist. Thank you very much. That's if a try gets scored off it. And he does attract attention. So you'd think that, Turbo, they always come in to try to shut him down, to at least 2 defenders. So he's attracting personnel. I could see a couple of try assists there at least. Yeah, at 400 odd K, man, why wouldn't you have a crack? Oh,
Couple interesting ones just quickly, Brad, before you finish up in trade outs. Number 5 on the list is Tino. Kind of makes sense in a way. And then Nico's at number 8. Traded out.
Yeah, he's interesting.
We spoke about him.
Yeah. I think both those trades, you must have an awful lot of
luxury.
You must be in an awful lot of pain or have an awful lot of luxury and not trades to be doing those two. Particularly Nico. Nico is still, I think, the second best averaging halfback in Supercoach this year.
Yep.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, he has a few games that are stinking it up, and Cronulla is really stinking up. But he's not bad, really. So for me, I'm a Nico owner. I wouldn't consider it with that sort of an average. He's averaging in the 70s. So, yeah, I'm not getting rid of him just yet. But, I understand people are sick of just watching him go up and down in little 70s, 80 this week, 70 that week, 50. Yeah, but he's still going okay.
Yeah.
Tino, well, I don't know. I'm a Tino owner, but that's a very luxury sell again. I'm just holding Tino to the end. He will come good.
Yeah. He's playing with a bit of an injury, as we know, so the minutes haven't really been there at the moment. So hopefully he'll be all right after Origin, build it back up. So see what happens.
Yeah, no,
that's it, Brad. Unless you've got anything else, I mean, that's all the games covered off for this week.
Not really. Quick and short this week. We said it would be quick and short, under half an hour, which we're going to come in just under half an hour. Don't forget, I got it on today, the Wedge Tail Golf, the old Wedge Tail Golf hat, wedgetailgolf.com. Thank you for your sponsorship. Major sponsor with us this year, helping us give away some really good prizes at the end of the year. Who's leading our league at the moment there, Ross?
Yeah, I'll just pull it up quickly because there's a couple that are going. There's a couple going really well there at the moment. Ethan, who's the coach of Shelving Pongers, is sitting 35th overall. Craig, the coach of Dino Dancers, in 46th, and Rod, the coach of Team Bozza, is in 95th. So, well done, guys. Those three have pretty much been sort of setting the standard now for a while now. So, well done, Craig. Congratulations. And said a few rounds to go, and then we'll be able to crown the winner.
Well, a few rounds. We've got about 9 rounds to go, but don't forget, look at those rounds 23 through onwards, because that's your head-to-head finals rounds. And that's where you want to have heaps of trades and make sure you've got that team that's going to be chock-a-block full each week so you can smash your opposition.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, well, that's it for the night, folks. Thank you very much, Sasavo. Very quick teamless Tuesday. Enjoy the footy this weekend. I know it's only 5 games, but it means you have to spend time with the missus. or with in Rossco's case with his we haven't seen him tonight. What was it? Hold Me Nuts from the other night. Hold Me
Nuts. Yeah.
Well, you can't ask him out on a date now. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great evening.
See you Sunday night for round wrap.